Good morning, Cedar Park, and happy Thursday. First up, let's see the selected singers chosen to sing at choir's upcoming UIL contest.
The Robotics Chili Cook-Off is coming up. Stay tuned for more info.
And catch an all-new episode of the Pack Chat.
Let's jump in because the Wolfcast starts now. Hello, Cedar Park. I'm Abby Martinez, joined by Jack Polshik and Katie Whitmarsh.
Now we take you to a UIL anyone can sign up for, vocal solo and ensemble. Solo and ensemble is a singing UIL for small groups and individuals. After school tomorrow at Lake Travis High School, this event will score each performance separately on a rubric of 1 to 5. All of those who make a 1 will advance to state, held at UT on May 28th. Solo singers, primarily from choir, have been working hard for months to prepare songs with strong dynamics and interesting musical contrast, many of which were in another language. Mia Chaplin talks of her experience preparing for UIL.
So I've been working with my voice teacher every week for the past couple months preparing for it, and I also listen to other people singing the same song that I'm singing, like find videos on YouTube and that kind of thing, and I just make sure write down all the feedback that I get and really just practice a lot.
Make sure to wish good luck to all of our singers performing tomorrow.
Every year, the robotics team gets together to celebrate their achievements while encouraging STEM in the community through their annual chili cook-off. The Chili Cook-Off is the robotics team's annual fundraiser where they provide attendees with different chilies from the community. All money goes to the robotics team, and it's one way they fund their competitive season every year. Senior Charlotte Mayhem talks about how the event is always a lively way to introduce children to STEM firsthand.
And it's a really great time to just bring everybody together and really appreciate STEM and everything it does for students here.
The Chili Cook-Off starts at 5 p.m. on Saturday and goes until 7. There's a $7 entry fee for adults and $5 fee for kids.
Now let's throw it over to Ross Laskowski for your top 3 things you need to know.
Thanks, Jack. I'm Ross Laskowski, and here's your top 3 things for today. First, Ukrainian officials and separatists have reported shell fire in the Donbas region of Ukraine. The Ukrainian armed forces said in a statement that, quote, Russian occupation troops shelled the settlement of Stanizia Luhanska, end quote. Next, 2 people were shot and pushed out of their car early this morning in downtown Austin. APD said the people were in the street in the 400 block of Colorado Street and had been pushed out of a vehicle. APD said the call came in at 12:54 a.m. and both of the victims were taken to a hospital by Austin Travis County EMS. Finally, a housing program is increasing the amount of affordable housing in the Rainey district, creating 2 new high-rise towers and 21 units of affordable housing. Kevin Burns, the developer for the project, dubbed the Modern, said in a statement, quote, because of the downtown density bonus program, Rainey Street is going to have more new affordable housing units than we have ever seen before in condos and apartments downtown, end quote. The project is expected to begin in April of this year. And that's all I have for you today. With CPHS News, I'm Ross Laskowski. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ross.
So I know, going back to that last story about the house scene, I think that's really good because I know, I just heard about, because it has become so expensive to live in Austin, people that literally have been here their entire lives and generations can't afford to live here just
having
because.
to move out, yeah. I think Austin is definitely becoming a new very dense city, which is weird because when we were little, there was things that weren't here, and now there's all these new buildings and new people, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like the Frost building. And it's just a cycle, everybody moved here because it was cheaper to live here than other cities, and then now this is just going to be the new...
It's becoming the new, Los Angeles, where you run out of space.
And then people are going to be moving back to Los Angeles.
Go back to California.
Full cycle. February is officially Black History Month, and here at the Wolfcast, we'll be partnering with the Black Student Union to highlight a notable figure from the Black community that has made or is making a positive impact on our world. For today's Black History Month FYI, we highlight tennis legend Serena Williams. BSU member Nia Cummins has more.
Good morning, Cedar Park. I'm Nia Cummings here with your Black History Month FYI for today. Serena Williams is an American professional tennis player. She has won 23 Grand Slam single titles, which is the most by any player in the Open era, the second most of all time behind Margaret Court. One of her best moments is in 2015 when she was in the Australian Open while having the flu. The then later winning the 2017 Australian Open while being 8 weeks pregnant. Williams recently hurt her right hamstring and has retired from this year's Australian Open, but continuously keeps her legacy and inspires young Black children around the world, especially in low-poverty areas, to play tennis. With BSU, I'm Nia Cummings, and this is your Black History Month FYI for today.
That's all we have for you today. Make sure you're keeping up with all of our content, so head over to our YouTube at CPHS News.
You can also follow at CPHS_sports for updates during the games.
More tomorrow, we highlight one of the celebrity officers, Kylie Kernett, a sports report, weekend destinations, and more.
Thanks for taking time to join us this morning.
With CPHS News, I'm Katie Whitmarsh.
I'm Jack Polishuk.
And I'm Abby Martinez. Remember to make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. Stay tuned for an all-new episode of our student opinion segment, The Fact Chat.
Welcome back to the Pack Chat, our student voice opinion segment. I'm Jack Polishuk, joined by Katie Smith, Madeline Roberts, and a close friend of mine, Ryan Green, as we discuss this week's most trending topics. Let's get started. First, in Beijing Olympic news, 15-year-old figure skater Kamila Valieva has tested positive for doping. Controversy is brewed up due to the origins of the drugs, many claiming that these were merely because of heart-related issues, while Valieva has claimed her grandfather's medicine contaminated the drug test. Despite this, she has not been banned from the game and is returning to the competition. So, do you think she should be banned, or do you think she has like a right for, tested positive? It was for a reason. Like, what do you guys think?
Well, the last thing that I've heard is that she's still able to participate in the competition, just she's not allowed to medal in it, not allowed to participate in the medaling ceremony. And truthfully, I think that's a pretty fair compromise. I was thinking about it this morning, and everybody sitting at this desk is older than this girl, which is crazy to think about. Could you imagine being, like, in our terms, a sophomore in high school, having this amazing opportunity to skate at the Olympics, and then if it truly is her grandfather's medicine and it was a big miscommunication, having that go this far. So I think that having her still be able to participate is a good cut.
Well, I was actually surprised with the decision because already, according to the Times, the team is already serving like a multi-year ban for like a state-sponsored doping system from the 2014 Olympics. So I just found it interesting that they would let this slide, even though they're already not even competing under their own country's flag anymore.
I think the main issue for me is not her specifically, getting tested positive, because it could definitely be like the contamination. Mm-hmm. I just think the Olympics is not their rules don't apply to everybody, and it's like there will be certain things that Olympics do that will get them banned easily, and then other people will do it and they'll be fine. I just think it's a little ridiculous. I think they need to have one policy, and I don't think they implement it very well.
I think definitely they should make sure that they're not promoting drug use in the Olympics, because there are people that work really hard that don't use drugs, and they make it really far, and there are people that just try to cheat their way out of it, and we can't really promote that as a society.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I do think, though, is it because she's young? Because this isn't she's kind of at the beginning of her career as an Olympian. And if it were somebody older, maybe they would be a little bit more of a hardliner, but she is 15. And we might not ever know if it was a mistake or not.
Yeah. Next, Kanye West has gone on a recent Instagram meltdown, bashing his ex-wife Kim Kardashian for her treatment of their kids, comedian Pete Davidson for dating Kim, Billie Eilish for alluding to the Travis Scott concert disaster last year, Kid Cudi for associating with Billie Eilish, and Pete, and much, much more. As of yesterday, he has now deleted all of these posts and has issued an apology for his recent tirades online. So overall, throughout this period, what were you thinking? Like, why was he posting all this? And did you think he had valid points throughout all this?
I think it was interesting that he was talking to Pete Davidson. Personally, I would not be contacting my ex-wife's boyfriend or even texting him personally and then posting about it. I don't know. It just...
Yeah, it definitely, I think, something that I've seen a lot of people talking about in relation to this is the fact that he does have bipolar disorder. But I think that there are two things that really do need to be taken separately. Yes, he has bipolar disorder, and this could be a product of that, but it's not an excuse, but it's also not, it's not something that should be forgotten. I feel like it is getting kind of convoluted in the
I just think like I do feel bad for him because I just don't think he's getting the help that he needs.
Exactly.
And I just like I hope he gets through that. I hope he like gets therapy or whatever he needs. And like even then, like I do kind of see some of the arguments he was making because he was getting upset at Kim for like posting like his kids on TikTok without like really talking about it and just like I can see why he would get upset at that.
Right. Some people could say it's unprofessional the way he's handling the situation, but like I personally haven't been in that situation, so I do think what he's saying is valid and the way he's reacting to it is fine. I think more people should definitely see that and try to understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. So finally, in recent movie news, the new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers trailer has been released. And Ryan, you're pretty excited for this movie. So.
I am, and I would love to talk about it. So basically what they're doing here, it's very absurd and obscure and, well, it's insane, basically. I don't know if you've seen the trailer or not, but I have, and it was pretty insane. But I think I know what they're doing, and I think it's going to turn out well. Basically what it is the world that it's placed in is a world just like Space Jam, where all the characters are like 2D, not all of them, but like they're 2D characters in a 3D world. And they're kind of bringing that back, which is kind of cool to see. And the people working on this, The Lonely Island, I think they're going to do a good job. They've done many things in the past that have been widely successful. So I think they're the right people for the job. And also, I think that if they would have remaked what it's based on. So it's based on a show from the 80s called Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. And I think if they just would have remade that, it would have not have been that good. And a lot of people don't really remember that show anyways. So I think the direction that they went was definitely a good one. So yeah, people should give it a chance because I think it looks like it's going to be meta as well. There's going to be lots of references. To give you an idea of what I mean, there's this line that says, "It's no secret that I got the CGI surgery." And I thought that was brilliant. It was in the trailer, and I thought that was brilliant because it's basically, I think it's referring to all of like the 2D animation styles in the early 2000s and how it's transitioning to like the 3D CGI, crappy CGI. And so yeah, that should just give you a taste of what it's going to be like. So people should definitely give it a chance. It looks insane, but I think it's going to be refreshing watch since it's kind of making fun of all those, recent remakes that Disney has been doing.
Yeah, I'm like stoked to see it now that you like talked about it. Like, I'm definitely really excited.
I think it's also sort of aimed towards adults because apparently they're going to be like jaded adults after their show gets canceled, and like one Chip is like an insurance salesman, and I guess like they have to like rekindle their broken friendship to find their missing castmate. But John Mulaney, this is kind of controversial with all the stuff that's out about him right now, but I still really like him, and he's gonna play Chip, so I might just have to see it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them kind of giving Chip and Dale a new context to be seen in, because I feel like definitely a lot of little kids, like they're aware that these are these characters that are at the parks and they're like classics, but like a lot of people kind of forget where they came from. So I'm excited to see it in a new context.
Yeah. That's all we have for you today. Remember, T-Wolf Pack, there's always time to chat.